Welcome back, friends, to Max Q Barbecue. My name is Craig, and today we're going to fix our Pit Boss pellet grill.
The other day we came out on the deck to grill some hot dogs on our Pit Boss grill. So as usual, we plugged in the grill, hooked up everything, came over to the front panel to turn it on, and lo and behold, nothing happened. Oh well, so we ended up cooking the hot dogs on the stove inside, but we still need to figure out what's wrong with the Pit Boss grill. So I called Pit Boss support services, and they gave me some instructions and said, take the grill apart and check. There's more than likely a fuse blown on the inside. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to take the Pit Boss grill apart and see if we can diagnose what is broken with the grill. Make sure that our Pit Boss grill is unplugged. We don't want to get electrocuted while working on our Pit Boss grill. The first thing we need to do is to remove the pellets from the grill. To remove the pellets, we have a bucket that we're going to place underneath the pellet removal chute and empty the pellets into the chute. So the first thing we have to do is go ahead and loosen up this screw and open this door so the pellets can fall out. Now we're going to pull the little chute door, hold the bucket up, and capture the pellets as they come out. And you can see they're not coming out completely. So we have a paint stir stick that we're going to use to push the pellets out. First thing we're going to do is remove these 8 screws from the bottom plate underneath our Pit Boss grill. Today we have a magnetic screw holder so we don't lose any of our screws, and we're going to use our battery operated drill with a screwdriver bit to speed up the process. So let's get these screws out of here. The next step in the process is to remove the screws holding the hopper onto the Pit Boss grill. We're going to start with the screws underneath, and these here on these outer edges are the ones that are holding the hopper to the grill, along with some extra screws over here on the side. We're going to save the side screws to last, but we want to get these off from underneath first. We have 2 screws left to remove, and we have a bucket here so that when we loosen the hopper, we can lay it over on top of the bucket here. The flame plate knob is in the way, so I just went to a regular screwdriver. Now our hopper should be loose, and we're just going to lay it over on its side so we can see if we can diagnose what's going on. We have our hopper disconnected and laid over on its side, so let's move in and take a look at how things are organized inside the cabinet here. You can see our power cord coming in over here on the left, comes in underneath through this little group grommet here, and then ties into this bundle of wires below. I still don't see a fuse block, but I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut those zip ties, open up that wiring bundle so I can see if there's a fuse in there. I've opened up the wiring bundle, and I don't see any fuse holders in the bundle. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these quick disconnects so I can remove the hopper and take a closer look at the electronics. Let's take a quick picture of how the different connectors and what wires are connected to which plugs. I sure would hate to not to be able to get this thing plugged back in the right way after we've tore it all apart. So I'm going to hold these wires up and then take a snapshot so we'll have a picture. First thing we need to do now that we've got all the connectors disconnected is check to make sure we're getting power from the power cord. So I've plugged it back in, and now I've got some test leads plugged in, and we have 121 volts. So we have power to the Pit Boss. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the 3 screws that hold the controller in so I can take a look at the back of the controller. Rather than removing the screws, I just realized I could remove these tabs, move the front cover that way. So that's much easier than taking the screws out, and it keeps everything as one unit.
Note the location of the fuse on the back side of the control panel. It's located inside of this green plastic cover with a zip tie across the top to keep it from popping loose.
So now we're going to check our fuse with our VOM meter. As we suspected, no continuity between the VO across the fuse with our ohm meter. And just to show you that the ohm meter is working, we'll go ahead and touch these two together. So you can see if it was continuity, we'd be getting a reading, but we're not. So fuse is blown. Well, friends, now that we know that it's a fuse, I went ahead and ordered a pack on Amazon for $5.99, but it's going to take a couple of days to get here. So I'm going ahead and going to secure the hopper back to the Pit Boss grill, put the cover on it until I can get back in a couple of weekends and finish the repair. Welcome back, friends. A couple of weeks have passed, but in the last 2 weeks, our fuses that we ordered from Amazon have arrived. So there's our little pack of fuses. And now all we got to do is get them installed in the Pit Boss controller. There you have it. Got the new fuse installed. Now we can shove this thing back in the pit. Let's do a quick recap of how we connected the wires back. The 2 heating element wires come over here and connect to the white and purple. The lower fan unit that's underneath the auger connects to the yellow and white. The fan motor, which is red, connects to the red and white. And our input power, which comes from our electric cord, which is right here, connects to the black and white. So there you have it. We've got everything all connected up. But before we button everything up, we're going to go ahead and do a quick test. We're going to come over here and plug it in and do a quick test. Okay, folks, the moment of truth. Should be able to press the on-off button and see a blue light come on. And check it out, we have a blue light. Alrighty, so looks like we may have repaired it. So now we can hook everything back up, put all our screws back in, and test it up, fire it up and test it out. We rebundled our wires with a zip tie. Let's cut off that little extra piece there. And now we can just close it up. Welcome back, friends. Now it's time ready to test the Pit Boss, see if our repair is going to work. So I just turned it on and turned it up to smoke. So we're gonna let this thing run for 10 or 15 minutes and see if we start making smoke. Fans are running, sounds like the auger's running, so we should be good, but we won't know for sure till we see the smoke and see the temperatures. Be back in a few. Friends, a couple of minutes have passed and it's making smoke. It's a good sign. Well, there you have it, folks. I believe we had a successful repair. So the Pit Boss is ready for the next time I want to smoke something without having to fire up the workhorse pit. So I'm excited. Now I can go back to cooking hot dogs, hamburgers, and things whenever I want instead of having to build a big fire to cook those items. Of course, you can't beat that Pit Boss for cooking pork butts and turkeys and briskets. But this sure is nice if you just want to do some vegetables or just want to do a few other things. Well, I hope you enjoyed our video today, and we'll see you on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe.